Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Outside the Box. This episode, we are going to meet the CEO and founder of GoGoGabby. Give me just a moment. Babe. Give me just a moment. Okay, let's try that again. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Outside the Box, where Black business owners are. I'm just messing up today. It's been a day. So, where Black business owners flaunt their Black owned business. All right. Today's entrepreneur is Teresa of GoGoGabby. Let's welcome Teresa. Hello, Teresa. How are you?
Hi, Al. How are you? I'm great. And thank you so
I'm
much for having me.
absolutely. I know, surprise, right?
Oh, it looks good, girl. Looks good.
Yes. So it has been an interesting day.
Yeah.
When God says yes, the enemy's like no. And I told you we were supposed to go on at 3:15 and I ended up burning myself. So I didn't take that as a no, let's not do it. I took that as an absolutely
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Let's get into it.
Yes.
So if you could please tell everybody about yourself first and then go Gabby.
Absolutely. And the burning yourself, I think it's just going to be fire. I think this is
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
There you go. My name's Teresa Lopes. As you said, I'm a founder and CEO of GoGoGabby, but um, I'm also many things these days beyond an entrepreneur. I'm a wife to an amazing husband. I have two beautiful children. Um, very busy softball mom, juggling all of the things. And more than anything, I'm a child of God. So
Yes.
I'm ready to get into it. Let's get talking and dig in.
Yes. So tell me how Gabby came about.
Yes, ma'am. So it actually was a concept I thought about when my daughter was born a very long time ago. So my daughter is 11. GoGoGabby's not that old. And it was really when I was looking around for clothing for her that represented her. So when I was out at the stores, I wanted to see a little brown girl on the horse. I wanted to see a brown mermaid. I wanted to see a girl with afro puffs doing whatever. And I just didn't see it. And at the time, I did write a couple of different clothing brands. So it really didn't go anywhere with it. And my best friend was like, "You can do this." Now, the background is I am a designer. I've been a designer for over 20 years, but I'm not a fashion designer. But my best friend's like, "I feel like you could do everything and anything." I'm like, "Thank you." So I didn't think that was in my lane. Um, and then fast forward when COVID hit, my grandmother passed away, and that kind of lit a fire underneath me because she had a lot of things that she wanted to do in this life that she would always put in the back burner and kind of say, "Oh, I'll get to it," and she didn't get to it. And so to me, it was kind of a calling from God to say, life is full of risk and rewards, and those who are willing to take the risk also get the rewards. So it was a time that I was home because we were all locked in, right? I was homeschooling, seeing my daughter, still frustrated about the clothing and some of the stories that she was reading. So I decided then, okay, let's do it. I didn't know what that looked like, but that's kind of that's kind of how it started.
But the thing you just said, which is another question that I was going to ask you. You said that God, it was a calling.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, you know, when God calls you to do something, you're not supposed to wait on it. You're just supposed to boom, start, and go, right?
Yes, I do know that. I know it, but I didn't do it originally. But we're here
Originally,
now.
but you did. But you
Yeah,
did.
but
But
we're
you
here.
did. Yes. Um, so can you tell the audience like what you what you offer and
Absolutely.
and all that?
Yes, so we're an uplifting lifestyle brand, and we're on a mission to help young girls and women love themselves, love
Mm.
God, and others. So it's woven into everything that we do. Now, I discussed some of our products. I brought some to show you, and obviously, you're wearing one of them. We do have t shirts that we offer.
Yes.
Um, our biggest sellers, though, are our loungewear and our nightwear, nightgown. So this is kind of our royal um, two-piece silk night pajamas for young girls. We also, for the summer, have bathing suits, again with inspirational things. So those are the mermaids I wanted to see, right?
Yes.
And then we're also, we are in the space of media as well.
Mm.
We do books. So this is like an initial book that I wrote and illustrated. And we do ebooks and we do uplifting events, curated events around the Jacksonville area. We're going to be expanding it. One of our events that we're known, you know, it's pretty big now, known for is the Three Generations Tea. And that's based on a verse in Titus, which tells the older generations to teach the younger generations. And we noticed that we just not sitting around at the table anymore with grandma and everybody. So we decided to have a tea to celebrate life, celebrate us. And we raised money from that tea to go to Alzheimer's and dementia research as well as go to nations. We have a missionary, Miss Lisa Johnson, that we send all over the world to preach the gospel. So definitely about that life, right?
Wow. Like I got goosebumps because I just happened upon you. Well, there's nothing happens by chance, right? So I just happened to meet you online in a class that we were taking, and I had no idea. I don't know, you know, God knows what he's doing. I'll say that. And just you fell into my lap, basically. It's just, and your message is everything,
Thank you.
everything. And we need you. Just like you said, you know, you would go into the stores and would be looking for child friendly clothing. It's hard to find. It's
Oh,
so hard to find.
and messaging
And,
too,
and the messaging.
and the message that's behind it. So everything that we have is uplifting, and what we write about are powerful, melanated young girls
Yes.
doing big things, right?
Yes.
And I'm not hating on anybody. I want to see you sing. I want to see you dance, but I also want to see you in a science lab. I want to see you um, everywhere that there can be representation. I want to see brown girls doing it and doing it big and owning the space, right?
Yes.
And also walking in the purpose that God put them into. So
Absolutely.
that's exactly what we're here for. It seems like a crazy mix, but we make it work.
It's not, but it's not. Like that's what we were put here to do. Um, I did have a question in regards to brain fart. You have to excuse me. It happens every so often. Did I see you you were doing a summer camp?
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to my
Ah,
friend. She also has a business, Layla Brandon Company, and she runs a summer camp for fashion. So a little bit about me, a little bit more is that I'm a third generation artist. My grandfather is actually, that's all he does. He does art restoration and does it for some big names. My father's an artist, but he decided to serve our country and not follow that path, in which it leads into entrepreneurship. He decided to take the safe route. I'm a designer, and my baby girl's a designer. She just started selling her wares, but I love art. art is my expression. It's my first language. Um, I love to see art. I love to give art to the world. I love to see others learn about art and express themselves in new ways. So my friend offered me an opportunity to teach a drawing class, and it was amazing because I had forgotten what it felt like to discover drawing because I've done it so long, and it just invigorated um, something inside of me. But we were able to touch a lot of young ladies and teach them about fashion drawing. In addition, I'm always on a mission to make sure that they understand who they are. So we talked about how words have power and how we're powerful and how we can use it to uplift. So um, it was an amazing experience. But yes, we are always in the community looking for ways to help out, and that was a pretty cool way of doing it.
Yeah, it looked so awesome.
It was fun.
Yeah. Um, how did your faith factor into you becoming an entrepreneur?
So faith was the spark that ignited the business. Okay. As I mentioned before, my father and my mother are both in the armed forces. And when I was raised, they were very much into get good grades, go to school, get a good paying job, right? And everybody in my family that had a good paying job was doing some type of, they were working for the government, big companies. So that's what I thought would be my purview. But like I said, when God called me to start the business, I was like, what? That's kind of also why I kind of drag my feet. I'm like, what are you talking about? but the calling was so strong. I started very small. Um, I started with just t-shirts. And I remember I didn't even sell a t-shirt first. I didn't even sell a t-shirt. I wasn't making any money. And God was like, I want you to call your friend that's a principal of school. And again, this is during COVID. Call your friend that's a principal in the school and ask her, does she have a need for any t-shirts? I'm like, what, really? So I called, and my friend had just lost a teacher to COVID, and the class was all girls, which was amazing. And they were afraid to come back to school in person because they had lost their teacher. And God said, I want you to bless them with t-shirts. So, what? I'm not making but I followed him, and we gave away t-shirts and masks to that class. And immediately I saw the impact of people of faith having businesses, people of faith being used by God in the business realm to better the community. So again, that's kind of how my faith is in everything that I do. Right. It is in who I am. It's in the business. It's in the places and things I decide to affiliate with. I pray before everything. I pray before taking your interview request. There's partnerships that I've had to say no to because it doesn't align with my beliefs. We're just not. I'm not playing around with it because it's not mine. I feel like I'm just a steward.
Yes.
And even when I want to give up and throw in the towel, the faith is like, look, we got to keep going. We got to keep moving. So it's in everything.
Yes. I love it. It's amazing how even this show came about. It's all about faith. And that's something that you'll hear later on if, when you tune in. But faith is everything.
Absolutely.
Do you have any advice for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Yes. And I thought about this for a while because there's a couple of areas that I struggled with. The first is that if God gives you something, I want you to pay attention to it. I don't want you to minimize it. I don't want you to magnify it where it's too big, but I want you to consider it, okay? Because if He gave it to you, it's for a reason. And it doesn't mean that you have to jump out there, quit your job, and do the big thing today, or go and leverage your 401k. It doesn't mean that. But like you said, when God gives you something, you have to move on it. There's things that you can do right now. You can start taking the classes that we're in. Ecornell has good classes that you can start studying business, right? You might be very good at your craft or whatever, but you can study. You can work on your credit. You can do tangible things now to start moving in the direction, because the thing is to keep moving. The next thing is that you're never too young and you're never too old to start. Okay, so my daughter, I, I'm starting her as an entrepreneur, and I feel like what I'm giving her is a legacy of options that many of us may not have. And what that means is, when I was in college, I knew this one guy. He had beautiful dreads all the way down his back. And now I'm dating myself too, because this is back in the day, before there was even mention of the Crown Act. And I remember us getting ready to try to get good paying jobs, and he had to cut his locks just to fit into corporate America. Now he's doing very well now. He's in there now and he can grow them out. But that was the reality. He had to do something to himself to fit in, right? Um, and then in addition, some of us have worked at some places with some stuff going on that we might not have liked, that didn't work with our spirit, but we had to stay on the job for, benefits or whatever. But I think with my daughter, she'll have another avenue. She can go that route if she wants, but she'll be around entrepreneurship to know that she can be the boss just the way that she is. She doesn't have to straighten her hair. She doesn't have to cut her locks. She doesn't have to compromise her beliefs. It's another avenue. And I think the earlier that we teach young people that, the more empowered they will be. It doesn't mean they have to be entrepreneurs, but they know there's another way. And then you're never too old, especially in the fashion arena. If you look at some of the fashion icons that we see out there, they didn't get started till 40. I feel like after 40, you know what you know, and you know what you don't know. You know how to do it. You know what you're good at. You know who to call when you're not good at it. And I feel like that just makes you the perfect person to be an entrepreneur. So I think it's never, don't discredit yourself for being too young or too old, um, to join it. And then the last piece of advice I would give is to run your own race, right? Make decisions about entrepreneurship that works for you. You may not be able to focus on doing multiple things at one time, so you might have to quit your job and just go all in. But some people can probably keep the job, kind of put their toe in and do it. Some people feel like they have to go out there and start a brand, while others can, jump onto a franchise that's already been established. What I'm saying to you is that there's not one way to do it. So I'm a woman of faith, so I would always say pray before doing it and run your own race. I think God will give you the strategies and things that work for you, and just stay in that lane and just follow that path. It might not look like everybody else's, but if God calls you to it, you can do it.
Yes. Well, that is our time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Can you share your socials? I believe that I did put them in the description below, but can you share your socials with us, please?
Absolutely. We are primarily an online store, so you could catch us at www.gogogabby.com. That's GABBY.com. And we are at Real GoGoGabby on Facebook and IG.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to Beyond Outside the Box, where Black people in business flaunt their Black owned business.
Thanks.
All right.